listening to the Kent Lapp Podcast.
So Ray seems to be using social media a lot. You don't use it quite as much, or maybe not much at all in seasons. So how do you handle social media? Do you try to stay off as much as possible, or does it go in seasons? I'd love to hear.
Ray is much more active, as you've noted, than I am. I am not as good with words as he is.
Who is? I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Thanks, Kent. That makes me feel a little better. I mean, the Lord gave him a mind that forms phrases and makes connections. I mean, he even has his tweets divided into 3 different kinds, whether it's family, theological, or I can't remember the 3rd category.
Oh, wow.
And so he thinks about it very carefully, and it doesn't take him a lot of time. It would take me 30 minutes to form a tweet in as tight and nuclear fashion as Ray can in 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And so it's a matter of stewardship. What is God asking me to do?
Oh, okay.
How can I best spend my time? I tend to use social media for 2 things: to get the word out, the word of Jesus Christ out, and to communicate our family to others, our family, and communicate our family to others.
Okay.
Because, as you might know, I have a real heart for leaving a legacy. And maybe you've seen my hashtag to the 10th generation, and it's my next book. And so I really want to leave a legacy. I won't have time if I spend a lot of time on social media. I get drawn into Facebook. I mean, I just had one of my 2nd grade students from 1973 contact me on Facebook.
Wow. They friended you, or?
Yeah. They messaged me and wanted to write and say, "Oh, remember me? You were my 2nd grade teacher in Dallas." And that happens frequently, and I love to interact. But what I could do, Kent, is open up my computer in the morning, and rather than get to work, I could check. I do check my Twitter feed, but I could write some tweets and then go back and check it, get to Instagram, post there, then go to Facebook, and it would be noon.
Oh, yeah.
It would be noon before I got down to what the Lord has ultimately called me to do. I believe God has called Ray to be a voice to more people than I am. I believe my role, my gifting from God, is to help Ray do that, whether it be by providing a good home environment for him, whether it be that sounding board. Honey, can you check this tweet before I send it out? Whether it be encouragement after someone's bombed his tweet, whatever.
Yeah.
So I don't enjoy it as much. He does, and I believe God is using him.
Yeah.
So I really have to watch my own life. I could get very involved in it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's a great way to look at it, is the stewardship thing. It's not something that I was thinking about so much, but I'm going to keep that one because that is a really good way to look at it. What strikes me as, okay, so you are passionate about to the 10th generation. And yes, I was aware of that because it comes through at Emmanuel too.
Yes.
And which is wonderful. But a lot of people would use social media because they think that's the way to have it extend to the 10th generation, After they die, it's still going to be out there on the internet somewhere, which, obviously you're going to have lots of things still out there with talks and books and things like that too. But, you're there again, the social media, it's so in the moment, I guess, and it's so easy to get caught up into it. And so, I appreciate that thought about the 10th generation, because you could spend all morning on social media as opposed to furthering a book or something like that. But does Ray, what I struggle with is I definitely have a love-hate relationship with it, because last year, 2019, took most of the year off, wasn't on Instagram for probably 9 months. Twitter had been probably 2 years. And Facebook, I left my account active or whatever, but I personally, I don't like Facebook. I wish Facebook would go away. But then this year, with this podcast and everything, it's kind of hard to have a podcast without any social media. So
Yes.
I'm on it again. And it's what you said, when you post, then you're checking more, and then it's just this cycle. And I kind of feel like, I feel like when I spend some time on social media, like it feels a little, I don't know, like it feels almost dirty or like a waste of time. Like it's a necessary evil, I guess, is how I view it. Does Ray view it as a necessary evil too, or does he just thrives on it? Like, is there a downside there to him?
I think he might be somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
I don't know if he thrives on it, but I do think, forgive me, darling, if you're listening, and I'm not representing you well, but I do think he thinks of it as a sacred space, a responsibility from God where he can represent, it's almost like a priestly responsibility, where he can represent Christ, his word, and his ways to others. Actually, Kent, we believe our books will last longer than our social media. I could be wrong. I mean, you're the one who got me started podcasting. I'll have to tell your listeners that story sometime. But so my podcast will be out there, and my speaking. Ray and I speak together sometimes. Ray's preaching, his speaking. But a book, I mean, think what a great servant it is. You spend maybe a year, 9 months to a year, researching, writing. A publisher takes it and publishes it and prints it. And then people buy it and it sits on a shelf, maybe for years, without a moan or complaint. All you have to do is dust it once in a while. And then one day someone pulls it off and reads it. And they have an eternal perspective change.
Yes.
So to me, a book is a perfect servant. Social media feels more like a slave to me.